Assalamu alaikum. You too. Making my intro video. The title of this video is going to be A Message to the Broken. Okay. I don't really know the point of why I'm doing this. I just have taken in a lot of information in the past couple of days, past couple of weeks, past couple of months, past couple of years. And I thought that it would be wise for me to, I've been thinking about doing this. So it's my first video. I just wanted to reach out to whoever was willing to listen. It may be one person, it may be none, maybe 100 people, 1,000. Who cares? Um, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough 24 hours. It's been a rough week, rough month. Um, like I said, I really don't know the point of this, but I'm gonna try to make a point out of it. So, man, I just look around, and so many of us are hurting, right? And I think that it's men, it's women, it's boys and girls. Everybody's hurting, you know. Many issues going on in the world, both in our personal lives and communities. I don't know about you guys, but everybody just seems a little more cold and callous these days. And it seems like it's getting a little bit harder to reach out and connect to people. Hence why I'm doing this video too, to kind of reach out there into the void, grab one of you guys, one of you gals, you know. So my name is Yusuf. Nice to meet everybody. I'm just a fellow human being like you, like the rest of you guys. I know some of y'all might not be half, well, some of y'all half human or whatever, you know, but I'm a human being just like everybody. I crack jokes. If you haven't already figured out, I like to smile, even if I'm just tore up inside. I like to smile. Um, I don't know if that's a defense mechanism or what. Look, I don't have the answers. You know, I don't have direction for you. I barely have it for myself. Uh, but I am a broken man. You know, I'm broken. You know, there's just no other way to put it. I'm broken. You know, I am 30 years old. Thank God everything is going well in my life. Financially, I'm an accountant by career. If any of y'all care or not, but I have my own business now. Good, making money. You know, flying out to places I've never been to before. Working out every day, losing weight. If anybody was to look into my life from the outside, uh, perhaps they would think that I have it all. I'm better off than most, right? And I am. But there are, problems that we all face. And I think one thing that we're missing these days is a real sense of community and belonging. Uh, being a part of a tribe or something bigger than yourself. You know, things are cool, money's cool, Having shit is cool. Having stuff is cool. Trying to stop cussing. But these things don't feel that you know, right here. It doesn't feel it, you know. Trust me, it doesn't feel it. So and the more you get, I used to like last year, I can go back to just the beginning of last year. I was on my ass. I was on my butt. I was broke. It was actually, now that I think back on it, it was probably one of the best places I could have been. I was rock bottom. And the only way you can go up is from rock bottom is up, right? So that's what I did. Instead of throwing the towel in, instead of giving up, which I did feel like, it was 330 pounds, 250 now, feel like I've done good progress in a year. Um, I was barely clearing 1,500 to 2,500 a month in gross revenue, which my brand is $1,000 a month. So imagine, it was a hard time. But I didn't believe in myself, I didn't. And slowly but surely, I had reached out to people that I felt like could help me, right? And they were advertising to help, right? So I'm not gonna drop names on this video, but as we go along, I may share who because they were still coaching people and whatnot. And honestly, dude, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna BS anybody. I grew up without a father, right? Now, was my father there? Physically, yes. He was there. He was present. Well, he wasn't present, you know what I'm saying? So he was there, but he wasn't present. My mother, actually, I did not grow up with. My mother died when I was a kid. So I did not really get too much maternal affection from anybody else besides my grandmother. She passed away. May Allah grant her highest level of paradise and have mercy on her. You're a Muslim. Say Ameen. Ameen. Just real rough childhood, man. You know, real, real troublesome childhood. Certainly did not go the path that a lot of people where I come from go on. But I think that to God, you know, He really put me on a path. You know what I mean? And I'm still on the path. I'm still living. I'm still breathing. So I'm still on the path, right? So plenty of times I wanted to. I thought that I have got this, and so I'm good. I got that, good. A girl, nice job, nice car, money, uh, things. It just never filled me with that sense of contentment. And I've always had a real hard time with two things, and maybe some of y'all could relate, right? Patience and gratitude, right? So I went through some traumatic things from early age all the way until I graduated high school. Once I graduated high school, like 3 days after my graduation ceremony, I was out of the country and went to go study medicine in another country. I'm not, like I said in this video, this is just my initial reaching out to the world. I just don't want to dive deep into to everything. Um, maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. But where I went, where I lived at, just was not a productive place to be, right? So I had my ideas going in. Once I was there, completely different perspective. Perspective changed, right? Perspectives changed, but man, my perspective changed, right? So did that for 2 years, man, and by the time 2 years was up, I mean, my mind was shot. I was shell shocked. Just seeing things shouldn't be seeing at the age of 19. So nobody should be seeing at any age, right? Um, Lost a few good friends. I'll never get those people back. Some of the closest, some of the closest people I've ever had in my life. People that I, to this day, have not met that caliber of individual. I have not met that caliber of individual. May God be pleased with them and forgive them, grant them highest level of paradise. If you're a Muslim, that's your cue. Say I mean. Um, Came back from that hellhole and hit the ground running, right? Started my career in accounting, blossomed into what it is now. So 10 years later, right? So I think strange things happen when you hit the age of 30, right? It's like, I feel like our brains have matured. Um, I was gonna say emotionally we've matured, but not these days, right? I mean, I wouldn't say that I've hit peak maturity on my emotional level yet, but certainly working towards it. I've my brain has been developed to what it is, right? I definitely hindered myself in alcohol and drugs in the beginning stages. From 16 onwards, I started smoking weed when I was 16. Got arrested, went to juvenile when I was 16. Got saved because of the fact that I was 16, because the charge I caught was really at least what I was told was, it was a charge that should have sent me to prison. Um, but it didn't. I just went to juvenile, got out, did my 6 months probation. Never went to jail again after that. Thank God. Definitely had run-ins with the law, but never went to jail after that. I've just had a lot of things happen in my life that, well, things have happened, and I feel like in a lot of ways I've been deprived of certain things, like a good father figure. And I know that I am not the only one that has faced that issue with a father not being present, or an abusive father, or abusive mother, or abusive siblings, just not quite fitting in anywhere. You know what I mean? Uh, Being told that you're just not wanted, or just being shown that you're not wanted. You know what I mean? Led to a lot of isolation in life. Led me to feel like I was just, I don't know, just floating. Just kind of going through the motions. And I felt like I was really, achieving things, and I thought people would be happy for me, but it turns out, man, a lot of people aren't. Excuse me. A lot of people just are not that invested in you, right? Being you. Been married and divorced twice. No kids, but you know, thank God. Because right now, this day and age, man, I don't know. It's like I turned 30. I did all this hard work from 20 to 30. I look up, I have my head down working. I look up, look around. What the F is going on? Is my reaction to it, right? I don't ascribe to any sort of ideology or methodology, uh, whether it's this red pill. I didn't even know what any of these things were like red pill, blue pill until like mid last year. This is to show you how much I was just not, you know, I was in my own world, doing my own thing, and just trying to make it in life, you know. Since I was a kid, because I grew up in such a broken home, I always wanted a family of my own, you know, and I tried, and I'm still trying, but I certainly I got married the first time when I was 21 to who I thought would be my, lifelong sweetheart. You know, try to do the right thing as a Muslim by getting married instead of doing all the degenerate activities that a lot of my and I won't lie, a little bit I also indulged in, but I knew just from watching all my friends get girls pregnant, or a lot of my associates that were girls get impregnated. You know what I mean? Like at a very young age. Like I remember when I was in ninth grade, was the first time I saw a girl pregnant, like full on pregnant. You know what I mean? So, and then from that point forward, it didn't get any better. Like by the time senior year came around, I knew so many people, dude. Sometimes being having babies with multiple dudes who also knew, turned into deadbeat dads, didn't do fucking shit. I mean, sorry, didn't do anything productive for their children. Didn't kind of perpetuated that cycle. You know what I mean, of just broken homes. So now the mother's raising all the children, the father's just not around. You know, so and I knew that's not what I wanted for myself, and I knew that's not what I wanted for my family, my future family. I didn't want my children. I didn't want to have children with a degenerate, and I didn't want to have my children to be raised by degenerates. So I also had to protect myself from becoming a degenerate, which I 100% give the gratitude and thanks up to the Lord, man, because He really saved me. Because I, after a certain time, like after I remember my first divorce, I mean that ended in like 2 years. Um, I was wrecked. I was trying to drown my problems in a fifth of Hennessy and some weed, going to just all the wrong places. You know what I mean? And trying to do all these wrong things to try to make up for I don't know what. That didn't last long. That didn't last long. That phase didn't last long. That broken-hearted phase. I mean, I guess I was broken-hearted for even a long time after that, but shortly after my first divorce, I became a practicing Muslim, right? So thank God, right? Because really, like, guys, I'm sure many of you guys are watching this probably not religious. Even if you're Muslim, you're probably not religious because most of us are not. And even if you're not Muslim, you may be atheist. I don't know. You may be agnostic. Look, for me personally, and for many people that I know, and I know people from many walks of life, Islam like changed the game. For me and a lot of people, really put me on a, like I said, on a path, right? Gave my life some meaning and some purpose. And again, this is another thing that, especially as men, lacking is a sense of purpose, right? But I was still brokenhearted, and I was still broken from all the things that I had went through. When I was like 21, 22, I was working good jobs. Like I was working. I was making more money than any of my. Like I to let you know, like shit, like having things doesn't always necessarily equate to happiness. But I was came back from overseas, living absolutely poor. You know what I mean? Like potatoes and rice every day, poor, right? So And but after that, it was like bread and pickled freaking onions and shit, but yogurt, and a little bread. But came back, hit the ground running, mind on prize. Got to do this, got to do that. Had the girl I wanted to courted her, got her married. Um, like I said, didn't work out, but I was making all the right moves and going to these jobs and working these jobs, learn to dress nice and all this. This is when I was 21, 22, right? Making 40, 50, $60,000 a year. How many people do you know that age doing that? Now, I'm sure with, I don't know, but 10 years ago, I didn't know anybody that was getting it like me. You know what I mean? So I was independent from like 3 months after I came back from this shithole country, right? Pardon my French. Um, and went through what I went through. I had my own spot. Within a year, I had my own spot. Within 3 months, I had my own car. Within a year, I had my own spot. Since then, I've always had my own spot. I've never lived with anybody except for just recently. I was had a. Well, I'll get into that later. But really, for the majority of my life, I've never lived with anybody unless I was married. That a woman would be who I was living with, and besides that, on my own. Right. So never needed help paying rent. Never needed help paying any bills. And if I did, well, I'm certainly not asking any of my friends for anything like that. Um, that's a lie. Once or twice I did, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, for the majority of my life, I was independent, and I mean, by the time I was 21, 22, man, I thought I had it all. I thought I was well on the way to, I don't know what, it's just success or whatever. But I had so much, like I had vices, pornography did not miss me. It got me too, when I was young, 13, 14. And luckily, because God had kind of removed me from certain places, and then I was where I was at for a couple of years, and where I was at, it was just like a lot of these websites have been banned out there, so you can't even get to the website without doing some crazy shit. So it was actually kind of saved me from that uh, porn trap, you know. But I was never 100% safe from it. But I have been safe from it for a while now, you know. Like I said, this is just a message for whoever's listening. I'm kind of putting my life out there a little bit, but the point is that you got to work on your relationship with God, and you got to work on your relationship with yourself. Um, Self is very important because, especially for a lot of us who haven't grown up in like I realize now at 30, like what I missed out on by not having my mother or my father there, you know, just nothing good, you know. But God kind of took over that role of mother and father for me because I had to open myself up and make myself vulnerable to God, right? And to myself because a lot of things, we're in denial a lot of times about a lot of things, and hold on. So we choose to ignore it and not necessarily confront those things, right? So if you're feeling broken, just if you may have, like I said, you may have the girl, you may have the car, you may have the nice home on the hills or in the boonies or whatever, drive a Maserati or Mercedes or BMW. Man, I had friends, dude, that were so spoiled. You know what I mean? Like they would wreck out a car every, like, sometimes twice a year. Nice cars like Beamers, Benz, and their fathers would be there to save them. You know what I mean? Or I knew dudes that were with girls that they had knocked up and they had a kid together. Dude's just still young, he's still a child. still cheating on his wife or his girl, or whatever, and the girl just keeps forgiving him. You know what I mean? And, he's got that safety net, and he's kind of codependent upon this woman. And I know a lot of dudes are out here right now like this. They're all full of shit, dude. Let me tell you one thing. Like the manosphere or people out there telling you, just inundating you with so much information. Let me tell you something, man. If a motherfucker has not seen somebody die in front of them, they can't tell you shit. If a motherfucker has not lived that shit, they cannot tell you shit. I'm cussing, but I want you to grasp what I'm trying to tell you right now, right? Look me in my eyes, okay? If if that person has not seen the reality of life, the duality of life and death, rich and poor, like seen the height of life, which I've seen the height of life. I've been in environments that were money, right? And I've been in environments that were the complete opposite of that. Okay. That person cannot tell you anything. Okay. Do not take relationship advice from that person. Do not take life advice from that person. Some people may have bits and pieces, right? I'm not taking away from that. Some people have, grew up with strong fathers, strong mothers in their household, and went on to become successful in whatever endeavor that they were doing, but they don't know the reality of life because it has not touched them yet, right? And maybe it never will. So all they know is success, or all they know is like really it comes from a condescending kind of point of view. Like, what are you complaining about? What are you crying about? But Yusuf, your brother, is here to tell you that I get it, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you come from that, like if you deal with complex PTSD, or if you deal with a childhood that was just rough, and you look around and you're like, man, I can't relate to anybody. And then like I have all these things, and I thought that would be enough, and I started making the money I never thought I'd be able to make in my life, and I thought that would be enough. And you come to find out, man, it's not. So somebody somewhere along the way lied to me. You know what I mean? So develop that relationship with your creator. Go about it however you need to go about it. Okay. Ask. That's what I did. God, please help me. I need your help. I'm dying inside. I'm suffering. I need help. Well, we're about 30 minutes in. I'll keep talking. Hopefully, somebody's still listening. And I don't mean to go on. Like I said, I just provided life examples from my own life to let you know who I am, what I come from. You know what I mean? Without getting into too much detail, but so now you have an idea. Um, this is also therapy for me too. I mean, this is like talking, you know, just letting it out in a way, right? So if you're broken inside, if you feel broken inside, if you look around and you're like, man, I just don't fit in anywhere. I just don't feel like anybody can really understand me in a way. And I feel like in a lot of ways, I intimidate a lot of people because I maintain direct eye contact. Sometimes people look in my eyes and they just see a lot of, a lot of people have told me they see kindness, and I get it. You know what I mean? Some people, I really don't know what they see, man. You know, it's like two sides of a double edged sword or whatever. Lately I've been thinking about just wearing shades or something, which I always thought myself like I want people to look me in my eyes when they speak to me. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Lately, I don't know if it's a good idea. So, either way, uh, everybody's lying to you. Nobody has this shit figured out. Okay, nobody has this shit figured out. Shit, life, right? Some people can fake it better than others. Some people have just went through less than other people, so they are able to cope better. You know what I mean? Um, but everybody's lying, and there is like aspects and parts of people that are not being shown to you on purpose, intentionally, because they don't want you to see that. And sorry, my cat. I got to keep looking, making sure my cat's okay. So they're lying to you, dude. They're wearing a mask, and we all wear a mask, dude. We all wear a mask when we walk out the house. You know, especially like it doesn't matter, dudes, gals. It doesn't matter. We are all covering something up because the world is such a weird place, especially these last couple generations of people. I'd say since the post World War II. Uh, just very delusional kind of life, not really in tune with how nature is, right? Like natural selection, like sickness, like illness. Like we've had such uh, advancements throughout history, or, well, rather throughout the last 60 years, 80 years, 100 years, let's just say 100 years. Cars, planes, penicillin, right, changed the game. Antivirals, antibacterials, changed the game. Television, programming, programming. That word right there. Remember that word, programming. Paid programming. Changed the game. You know what I mean? The world has in 100 years, the world has become so much more. It was like this 100 years, 50 years, 30 years, 20 years. The last 20 years, we have just been integrated and connected with each other in such a strong way. You know what I mean? It's a small place. I can connect with somebody from who knows where, anywhere in the world. We also are getting so much more information because you just know about stuff going on everywhere. You know what I mean? Like I'll bring up the Palestine Israel conflict right now. I mean, we're watching people, and this is not the first time, right? But like I said, the last 20 years has been a lot of this where we are not actively in a combat zone, in a war zone, but we are watching people die every day, annihilated, vaporized, obliterated from the face of the earth. We're watching this. Hopefully, you guys are not watching this. Like, you should not watch this type of stuff. If it's coming across your feed or whatever, you're not supporting any cause nor anybody by watching people die online. It's gonna mess you up, and you're not gonna be well. And you shouldn't do that, right? And you don't deserve that. And I'm sorry if you've seen traumatic things like that on the internet. Well, I don't know what I'm apologizing for, but I'm sorry that you had to see that. I'm sorry you had to go through that, and I hope you are well, right? Um, but like I said, man, message to the broken: keep your head above water. Things are getting strange. Times are getting strange. I don't really know what the future holds. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. You know what I mean? Other than continue to just work on myself, and you know self improvement too is a trap. You know what I mean? Like it's a good thing, but if you're not careful, it can really take over your mind state in your life, right? As men and as women, I feel that we should be actively trying to better ourselves so that we can welcome the right people into our lives. So another thing I'm seeing is God is really separating His people, right? Between believers and non-believers, between those who sincerely, genuinely want good for themselves and people around them and the world around them, and for those who are just negative and they're kind of how they say operating on a lower vibrational kind of energy field, and succubuses and devils in human form. We're seeing it, man. drugs have really messed up people. You know, everything from weed to, I just got sober from smoking weed. I've been smoking weed since, like I said, I was 16 years old. 2016, 2017, I became practicing Muslim. 2017, quit smoking weed. 2018, 2019, the beginning of 19, got married again, second time. That didn't last for more than 2 years. So I don't have any relationship advice for you or anybody other than uh, just try not to be such a fucking asshole and try not to force a relationship. That's better than that. Try not to force a relationship. Don't try it. Just don't force it. Don't force anything. You know what I mean? Don't force that job interview. Don't force, dude, girl, don't do it. You know what I mean? So, because the last thing you want is to be somewhere where you're miserable and you're stuck, right? And like I said, I thank God because I really could have been miserable like, more than I feel like I am now, because I still am a little bit miserable, but real miserable, like real miserable and stuck in a situation, especially having to take care of kids that I may not even, be honest, may not even wanted with that certain person, right? And I'm just like, I feel like I've gotten a new leash on life. Uh, is it lease or is it leash? But whatever it is, I got it. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, dude, keep keep moving and grooving, sis. Keep moving and grooving. I love all of you. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, I don't have an answer. If you're broken, if you feel broken like I feel broken, repair your relationship with your creator. One, like first and foremost. And then simultaneously repair your relationship with yourself. So if you can identify certain points in your life where you feel like you were not given the attention that you deserved, you weren't validated through certain things. Like for example, I mean, it doesn't matter what I accomplished. There was nobody there waiting at the finish line just to congratulate me, right? So for me, it was like never enough. Like it's like it still never is enough. But I've been working on that. You know what I mean? Like it's slowly but surely kind of turning into enough. You know, like like the first things I mentioned to you that I struggle with the most is patience and gratitude. Patience for patience for a lot of things, man. Patience for accepting what we like in Islam we say the qadr of Allah, right? Qadr being the decree, the divine decree. I've always had a problem with that. Allah knows what's in my heart. I have no reason to lie. I always wanted to say that I'm the master and the commander of my fate. You know what I'm saying? Um, I am in control, but I'm not in control. You know, the more I lie to myself and say that I am in control, then I try to control certain things, and they just blow right back in my face, man. And so then it reminds me when I let go, trust God. Um, it's just a whole different thing. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole different reality for me. Um, everything I want just kind of comes in. Another thing is, what do you want? You know, that's another thing because if you don't know what you want, and a lot of us don't, a lot of us don't know what we want. If you don't know what you want, you're in trouble. Here's another piece of advice that, if anybody's still sticking around, get you a skill set, that one that actually is applicable in the real world. So, like God saved me and put me down this path of accounting, which I never wanted to do. Actually, accounting was like the last. I had a family member doing it. My stepmom, CPA. Worked with her when I was a kid and like like from elementary on onwards. I always tell myself like this is the last thing that I will ever do is accounting. I wanted to go into the fields of science, math, But God had different plans for me, and I'm happy now. I'm pleased because I've never had to worry about, at least financially, anything. You know what I mean? Like I worry, like I always worry because I'm a human being and I worry. But my career has given me the lifestyle that really I always wanted. And this now, 10 years into it, I can kind of demand things. You know what I mean? Instead of working a job or whatever, I'm not working a job anymore. It's pretty fun. It's really fun. It's really fun to have to be on your own time. You know what I mean? It's liberating. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen in like a year, dude. I'm saying like it took me 10 long, hard years of nonstop work and sacrifice and long, long, long hours at the office, uh, having to put up with certain things that now I never would put up with because I'm 30 years old and it's already been through it. And it's just oh, my cat's butthole is on camera. Um, I just never will put up with it. I'll never put up with it again. Um, just keep your head up, man. I know it's gonna be all right, dude. Like, sis, dude, brother, sister, it's gonna be all right. We're in this month of Ramadan. If y'all don't know what that is, Google that shit. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. We're fasting. I'm tired. I'm done fasting for today, but tomorrow's a new day and a new fast. So whoever's tuned in for this long, you know, thank you for hearing strangers' thoughts. Like I said, I'm probably gonna start doing this more often. Um, just keep your head up. Just we're all in this together. Maybe in the area that you live in, you don't see a lot of people around you that kind of vibe at the same level you're vibing at. But if you hop online, you may find that. And I know it sucks, dude. I don't like I was so against meeting people online dating, which I'm still really against because that shit is a shit show. But I don't want to even get into that. But we're gonna have to either adapt or die. So if the future is technology, and especially since like post pandemic, we've all been kind of beat down and have to accept like these new norms. Well, you can accept whatever you want to accept if you want to go. There's another thing. Don't isolate yourself. Like for a while, I thought that it would be cool for me to like go out and live in the boonies, and I mean, past that, the country, right? Like have some acreage, some livestock, which is fine. I still want that for myself, but I don't want to be out there by myself, right? So I don't want to just be where there's nobody around. You don't want that, dude. You don't want that for yourself. You don't want to do that to yourself. Do that when you have at least a woman that you can have babies with, right? So then you can raise your kids out there, and they can come up in a you know in a life that's demanding of them because hopefully you're gonna get them involved in the farm, have them up real early, 4 or 5 o'clock every day, get them out there, clean up that cow shit or whatever the case is, right? Uh, Feed the goats and the chickens and collect the eggs from the hen's nest and teach them how to butcher and teach them how to skin, teach them how to gut, teach them how to hunt, teach them how to be men, and teach the women to be women. So many women have been lied to with this whole career. Dude, we men do it for you guys. But you ask any man what he really wants, just to chill, man. We do all this work to chill. We never get a chance to chill, and we need you. With like, woman, we need you. There's a reason why we exist and you exist, and there's a reason why when we come together, we create life. We need each other. Uh, there is no like I said, I don't describe to. I didn't even know what red pill fucking was until last year to let you know where my mind was at. Like I thought everything was fine. You know, obviously everything's not fine, and there are problems and there are issues from both sexes, right? But it's not gonna fix itself from like pointing the finger and saying, "Well, you women are doing this," even though there are plenty of women out there ruining people's lives, ruining their at the end, ruining their own lives, right? Um, I've had the privilege of being around, like I said, people from all walks of life. That includes pimps, right, and whores. Okay, and one thing I'm gonna tell you about pimping, man, it's a mind game more than it is anything else, right? I've seen girls, good girls, quote unquote, good girls, get broke in a week selling that cat. You know what I'm saying? So out there selling that cat. She was at the library a week ago, studying for her nursing exam or whatever, selling cat. You know what I'm saying? Likewise, I know girls that went and became strippers for a year or two. I never forget this. I walked into a strip club when I was young. I used to go to the strip club, right? I used to go to the strip club, okay, with my friends when I was like 20, 21, something like that. Same age. Same age I got married, yes. Every now and again I used to go to the strip. Like I wasn't holier than thou and I wasn't who I am now. Right. So I saw one of my friends, and I think this is actually after the divorce. So I saw one of my friends who I went to school with working at the club. She was a dancer there. She was a stripper, and she was butt ass naked. And she saw me, and she screamed my name from across this club and came running up to me and just leaped on me. Gave me a big hug. Gave her a big hug back. And I was like, "What are you doing here? What are you working at the club for?" Like, I never would have thought that you would be working at the club. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Oh." At this point, like, she had kids. She had already had popped out two of them, I think. She's got more now. You know what I'm saying? But she ain't stripping now. She's a nurse. She did all that to pay for nursing school. I can't knock her for that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just I just don't know what type of behavior we're rewarding. I don't know what type of behavior we're rewarding these days. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've been around. Like I said, the point was I've been around a lot of people. I've observed a lot. And so my take on life may not be a lot of these dudes out here, man, telling you, dudes, you guys do, you men do need to toughen up. You know what I mean? Like I would say, if you're not working out, work out. Like all these things you already know, man. Work out, take care of yourself, take care of your body. You should learn a combat sport if you don't already know it. You should learn how to box. I think boxing is the best, not that grappling shit, because you need to get hit in the fucking face. You need to get hit in the fucking face a couple times. You most certainly need to get hit in the fucking face. It's gonna humble the shit out of you, and hopefully you got that drive in you. You'll learn to get a little bit better. Because what you really want to do is be able to get that mouthpiece right. And the only way you can get that is by your confidence. So like for example, for myself, man, I'm from Dallas, right? So I lived overseas for 2 years, came back, lived in Dallas for 10, you know what I mean? I'm talking about the city of Dallas. I didn't grow up in the city of Dallas, but in the city of Dallas. South Side, Cliffs, Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, East Dallas, West Dallas, my second home, you know what I'm saying? North Dallas, you know what I'm saying? If there was ever an issue for like 99% of the time, like I was able to diffuse situations just by knowing how to talk to people, knowing the right words to say at the right time. We all have firearms. I've had firearms. Been carrying firearms since I was 19, 20 years old. Started over there, continued over here. Still got firearms. Don't really like them, but I keep two, three of them. You know what I'm saying? But because I know what they can do, I know the destructive power of a firearm. But that mouthpiece is what saved my ass more than anything else, right? And then you get your boxing game right. You know what I'm saying? Get your hands right. Get that aim right on that firearm. Preferably, you got a handgun. You're not walking around with a fucking Draco or whatever. But do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? But so where I live at now, people get stabbed more than they get shot. I feel like there's like a healthy balance of both. How about we say that? Shootings and stabbings. So, and I mean, I know a lot of people like, I want to get married, dude. I want a wife, and I've had to run across women that once we get to the point of where I live at, they kind of get scared away a little bit. I mean, I never had no problems. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I'm me. You know what I mean? But um, and I move a certain way. I move a certain way. But all this comes from life experience. Like you got to get out. I moved cities, and that was one of the best things I could have did for me. I'm gonna wrap this up in 9 minutes. Um, One of the best things I could have ever done is move cities. Just get the fuck up and move somewhere else. Get up. Sorry. Get up and move. I'm saying sorry to myself because I need to, not to you, but um, get up and move away from wherever it is that you're at. Especially if nothing's working out for you. If shit is working out for you, okay, well, whatever. I know so many people that got married and just like even myself in my last marriage, I let myself absolutely go. And, you know, it's no good. You know what I mean? Like, it's no good. And like when I say married, like, yeah, I've been married, but you can think of it as like a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, live in relationship. You know what I mean? Never got married by the state. Don't ever plan on getting married by the state because Uncle Sam doesn't really need to concern himself with what I got going on and who I got it going on with. But, just get up and move somewhere because that's what I did about like not even a year after my last divorce. Saw an opportunity in Oklahoma, got up and took that opportunity. It took a while too, 2, 3 years for me to get to this point now, and I'm still nowhere close to where I want to be. But things have really looked up in this past year. Thank God. And part of that is moving up and getting out. Got into a couple fights, fist fights out here, or fist fights and altercations. There was one fist fight and other altercations, and that encouraged my ass to get in the gym. You know what I mean? Like it's just things, man. You got to go through things, and that's gonna show you who you are. You know what I mean? And then if you're not who you want to be, then that'll light that fire on that ass to get to hopefully, because it's so comfortable for us to just sit in our homes and lock ourselves in and pretend like there's no world out there for us to explore and get out there and live in. Bro, I mean, bro, sis, this is not the way. You know what I mean? Like you need to get out there. Probably have to cut this a little shorter than 9 minutes, man. Been talking for an hour. Look, I don't know you guys, but I love you guys. I know this was like a hour long rant or whatever you want to call it, just a vent. There's gonna be more videos, hopefully a little bit more, you know, touching on some specific topics. Maybe I'll brainstorm some stuff. This was just freestyle right from the head. So hope y'all enjoyed, or hope you learned something, or hope you took something away from it, or hope it was just something for you to sit there and contemplate on, and maybe you just heard what I was taught saying, and it helped you deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with. But just keep your head above water. And if you're fasting, and you're a Muslim and you're fasting, it's a blessing, dude. Don't throw it away. We're in the last 10 nights, and I'm not really. I'm talking to you, not at the mosque, but just do the best you can, because I know it's hard, dude. I know for a lot of us it's hard. It's real hard, and maybe some of us are reverts or whatever. And we're not looking forward to Eid or whatever because we don't have anybody to celebrate with. Like I personally don't have anybody to celebrate with, but I'm still gonna do what I'm asked to do because we're men, we're women, we're humans, we're believers. We do what's asked of us, so we do it without any if ands, cuts, butts, or mustard sauce about it. You know what I mean? So, salam alaikum. Love you guys.